Well, hey, how's it going? You're back for another video. Thanks. And how do I say this? This video had so much potential. This is Halloween Horror Nights Singapore. There was so much cool stuff going on. And I'm just going to say it flat out. I failed you guys miserably. I had such a hard time vlogging this event. I don't even know why. I didn't capture any of my reactions to the houses. It was so hot and sweaty. The first night I was there, I was with a friend who maybe was a little bit uncomfortable with the vlogging thing. Just absolutely failed you guys. So I don't even know what to do. It's too late to provide reaction videos. But I will say this, if I could summarize, if you ever have the chance to go to Halloween Horror Nights in Singapore, you owe it to yourself to go. Oh my goodness! The houses were unlike anything I'd done in Orlando. The scare zones, on the other hand, were terrible. I'm sorry. Well, there was one really good scare zone, the Invaders scare zone. All of the rest of the scare zones, because the culture is different in Asia, they were more just like big photo opportunities. So there weren't really opportunities to get scared. Big fail. I know it's part of the culture and I'm fine with that, but I think as someone who's used to the Orlando style of scare zones, I think if you were an American going to that, you would be very disappointed. So going back to the houses though, why do I think that the houses were so incredible at HHN Singapore? They completely brought Singaporean culture into the houses. And it really was a unique event in itself. For example, one of the houses was based off of the books of a Singaporean writer named Russell Lee. He writes these true Singapore ghost stories books. I love these books. Read a few of them, and they're really more like compilations of letters that people have sent in of their own ghost story experiences in Singapore. But Russell Lee also adds his own stuff. And he has his whole mystique, he never, actually reveals his identity. So it's kind of some weird, interesting stuff going on with that. But the house, that house was based off of stories that happened in the MRT, which is basically the Singapore subway. The house was basically made up of cars from the MRT. And if you looked at the details, you'd see the maps, and the maps had the exact stops for the line that the train was supposed to be on. Those little details I loved. I mean, there was stuff where they played with the floor a little bit, where it was almost like a foamy floor, where the whole time I actually felt like I'd stepped in mud, the way they designed it. It was gross, and it was awesome at the same time. So that's one thing. The other standout house for me was this house called Hell House. Halloween Horror Nights takes place around the Hungry Ghost Festival. It's a Chinese festival, and it is the festival most identified with burning paper money, paper objects, it could be anything from a paper iPad to a paper house, etc., in order to send items into the afterlife for your ancestors, as most Chinese worship is more about ancestor worship. Okay, there was this detail outside the house that just killed it for me. Basically, when you're in the queue for the house, there is this small paper house effigy that you look like. And you realize it looks like the big house you're entering. So you're looking in this paper effigy house, okay? Now, you go through the house later on. And as you're going through the big house, you get to a scene where you see eyeballs looking into the house. They're basically broadcasting the eyeballs from the small house, people looking into the small house, into the big house. What the heck? Creativity, interactivity. Oh my gosh. I will never forget that house. And as you'll see in this video about to come up, I got to go in that house 100% completely by myself the second night I went. And if you know me in Halloween Horror Nights or you watch my past videos, there was a whole lot of, I don't like this, I don't like this, I really don't like this. Ah! Finally, the one house I didn't address in the video was the Tunnel People house. The Tunnel People house was dark, and it was meant to be that way. You just really could not see anything in there. And they did a lot with that, where things were touching you. Not people, because it's still Halloween Horror Nights. They still have the same rules where scareactors can't touch you. But it did not stop them from designing elements of the actual maze to touch you. It was a good house, but because it was so dark, there wasn't a lot to see. It wasn't super memorable for me. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling about HHN 5 in Singapore. Let me at least show you what I got, but again, I apologize for failing you guys. Take care. Make your own pancakes right at your table. Okay, City Walk in Orlando needs that. That would be wicked fun. I already could tell, I'd cause a lot of commotion with that. But check it out, we are at Universal. It's like I'm home when I see that. Home. Ooh. Oh my god, this is really happening. I am at Universal Studios Singapore Halloween Horror Nights. 2 Halloween Horror Nights, 2 continents. Here I go. This is going to be awesome. Certainly one thing that's not different between Orlando and Singapore are the crowds. If you look back there, you can see the ball. There are lines and lines of people out there waiting to get in. This is insane. But Universal Singapore, being as awesome as you are, they have a special entry just for people with frequent fear passes. So I was able to walk straight in. Love you, Singapore, for that. Thank you. But I still have my friend that I'm going with tonight, so he's in the Jello admission line, just waiting for him. But this is so real. Like these crowds are exciting. Already starting to see, typical with Orlando HHN, I'm seeing some vapors. I've already see some fog going on. This is nice. I'm there. If you look ahead in the middle, you'll see the moon, which is going to be the centerpiece for the opening scareamonies. This is so legit. I can't believe this is actually happening. What's up guys, and welcome to my reality. I am currently at my second night at Halloween Horror Nights at Resorts World Sentosa, Singapore. I'm just going to keep on adding stuff. You can recognize a familiar thing behind me, the globe that you see in Orlando. It's a Sunday night. I decided to skip last night. I knew the crowds were just going to be kind of out of control. So hopefully the crowds are lighter tonight. Got my frequent fear pass ready to go. Gonna dive in, try to get a good spot for the opening ceremony. Then, honestly tonight, I would have just hit up one house and hit up the Battlestar Galactica coaster. And then I'm going back to my hostel to hang out with my hostel roommates. Let's go. In case you didn't show up in my previous video, they actually have a separate entrance just for frequent fear pass holders. Orlando, please listen to this. Check it out, this is the supermoon, which later on in the show turns into the blood moon. So you walk in, you kind of run straight to the front here, which is what a lot of other people have done. And looking back, you see where the rest of the show is going to take place. There's a black box kind of right there in the middle. Part of the show takes place there, takes place up in those buildings. It's a pretty huge show. I have to say that this is one of those things that Singapore has the benefit over Orlando. I haven't seen a show like that happen in Orlando. Jack's show was great this year. Bill and Ted's was interesting this year. But the scale, the use of pyro, acting, storyline, just that wasn't there in Orlando. So thumbs up to Singapore for that.
Will affect you and your relatives to the spoiled waters. From the catacombs beneath the earth, the turtle people will reign as the Armageddon wipes out mankind. He will burn for eternity in the wrath of 1,000 effigies.
Check it out. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the Merlion all lit up in green and all craziness. Halloween has come to the Merlion. What is up? By the way, Halloween Horror Nights Singapore, pro tip, hydrate. This is way hotter than it even gets in Florida. You're going to be running around, crowds are crazy, you're cramped and tight. Drink a lot of water because you can easily get dehydrated here. They sell plenty of bottled water. Obviously, I mean, I've had good experiences with the water here in Singapore. I haven't had any stomach problems. but just in case, stick with bottled water, stay hydrated. Alright, I just got out of this house, the SG Block 50 Salaiso Gateway. Here's the thing about that house. I would not say it was the scariest of all the houses. I would not say it's the scariest of all the houses, but as far as like the implementing of Singaporean culture and the rooms with the different types of families, just absolutely brilliant. So what else has happened tonight is when I first got into the park, I was running straight to Battlestar Galactica. And on the way I saw that Hell House was only 5 minutes, so I ran straight in, was the only one in there, totally by myself, first one in, crazy as hell. And then I did the Battlestar Galactica coasters. Now I'm going to try to hang out in the Invader Scare Zone for you. Actually, my battery's about to die. So, I'm going to leave you guys here. Hope you're having a great Horror Night season. I'm Jeff. Salut. See you next time.